Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Miss Lynn.
Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Good. Make sure you sign in for your attendance, guys. Okay, so today we're going to start in Unit 6, I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King. And we will start on page 601. Okay, the first part, wait 1 second, is elements of nonfiction argument. In an argument, a writer or speaker takes a position on an issue and provides support for the position by by appealing strictly to reason. Okay, and in this unit for Martin Luther King, you're going to write an essay for argument, but we'll learn more about that later. So, in an argument, a writer or speaker takes a position on an issue and provides support for the position by appealing strictly to reason. The position is referred to as the claim. The support for the claim may be reasons, evidence, or both. In I Have a Dream, King makes the following claim about the status of African Americans in American society. And he says in his speech, but 100 years later, after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negro is still not free. As we read the speech, look for this claim and the reasons and evidence that King provides to support it. In other words, in his speech, when he says that 100 years later, the Negro is still not free, he also gives, he makes a claim and he gives reasons and evidence of this in the speech. Understanding rhetorical devices. Since arguments appeal only to reason, writers and speakers typically use more than just arguments to persuade. They also use rhetorical devices such as the following. Repetition. Repetition is the repeated use of the same word or phrase. It is used primarily for emphasis. And you will see throughout King's speech, he uses repetition a lot. Continuously, he says, I have a dream, I have a dream. Next, we have parallelism. Parallelism is the repetition of similar grammatical structures, words, phrases, or sentences. It is used to show that ideas are related or equal in importance. Analogy. An analogy is a point-by-point comparison of two subjects. It can help convey ideas that are hard to grasp or hard to understand. As you read, write down examples of these devices and describe their effects using a chart like the one shown. You can see here, words, phrases, or sentences 100 years later. What type of device is this? It's repetition. What effect does it have? It emphasizes how long African Americans have been denied their rights. Yes, Bamika. You have a question, Bamika? Everyone is unmuted, so no one should be muted on here today. All right, vocabulary and context. Martin Luther King Jr. chose the words shown in boldface to inspire his audience. Use the context to figure out the meaning of each word. A momentous occasion. Who can tell me what they think momentous means? A momentous occasion. What do you think momentous means? Hannah Hanny?
A huge or a memorable.
Yeah, a very important occasion, okay? Momentous means that you will remember it. It becomes a memory, okay? Number 2, missed payments and default on a loan. If you miss payments on the loan and default on the loan, what does that mean? Anybody have any idea?
To fail.
Go ahead.
To fail giving back a loan.
Yes, failure to pay back a loan, that's exactly right. And you'll see how Martin Luther King Jr. uses this in his speech. Number 3, felt exalted listening to great music. What do you think that means? Hannah Yasser?
It felt exhilarating and
Yes.
nice.
Exactly right, exhilarating. You feel very happy. You enjoy it when you listen to great music. Number 4, turned from protest to militancy. Think about the word militancy. Hannah, what do you think?
To abide by the rules.
Okay, militant. If you look at it, you can come to know that it comes from like military. Ahmed, what do you think?
A violent method to support the military, not the other protests.
Yes, okay. If you're in support of some type of protest, okay, and let's say you're marching on the street with a lot of other people, but all of a sudden maybe you get angry at some point that the protests are really not doing any good. So what happens? You become militant, okay? And you form a militancy. It's when you act aggressively, okay? Instead of being peaceful in the march or the protest, you become very aggressive. You've seen some in America, especially lately. They start having protests and then they start throwing Molotov cocktails and setting buildings on fire. They start stealing out of stores, that type of thing. That's what happens when you have a militancy, okay? Number 5, 2 evils inextricably joined. What do you think that means? Inextricably joined. Hoffman? You have any idea, Hoffman? Sorry, guys, I lost the internet.
It's okay, miss.
Let me try this again. Okay. All right, so number 5, 2 evils inextricably joined. Mihad?
Ironically.
Okay, if you have something inextricably joined, That means it's almost impossible to untangle it, okay? Here they're talking about two evils. So what it means here is it would be very difficult to separate the two evils. Both evils have come together, okay? Does everyone understand that? It would be very
Yes.
hard to untangle them. All right, any questions? All right, number 6, a legitimate excuse. Abdullah, what do you think that means, a legitimate excuse? Abdullah, can you hear me? Afid, what do you think? Afiduta.
A legal one. A legal,
I'm sorry, go ahead, I interrupted.
a legal excuse.
Yes, a legal excuse.
Like, that makes sense.
Abdullah, can you hear me?
Hello?
Abdullah?
Hello?
You can hear me,
Hello?
Abdullah?
Yes, miss, I can hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right,
Yeah, it
so
was
that
just
will
the
be the
first part.
vocab words. Now, you're going to have more of the rhetorical devices. There are a lot of rhetorical devices that you will learn this year. Let's read about a crusader for justice, Martin Luther King. He was born in 1929 and he was assassinated in 1968. Preaching a philosophy of nonviolence, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. became a catalyst for social change in the 1950s and 1960s. He galvanized people of all races to participate in boycotts, marches, and demonstrations against racial injustice. His moral leadership stirred the conscience of the nation and helped bring about the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In that same year, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. King continued his work for justice and equality until he was assassinated in 1968. An eloquent Baptist minister. Remember this because throughout his speech, you're going to see a lot of allusions directed toward his religion because he was a Baptist minister also, okay? An eloquent Baptist minister from Atlanta, and that's Atlanta, Georgia. King often used religious references in his speeches. On the night before his death, he told an audience in Memphis, Tennessee, "I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." Background on the March on Washington in August 1963, thousands of Americans marched on Washington, D.C. to urge Congress to pass a civil rights bill. King delivered his "I Have a Dream" speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial before more than 200,000 people. All right, any questions?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to show you, now I'm going to switch the screen because I want to go over some of the historical documents that you need to know. Okay, the 3 documents that we're going to look at today is the Emancipation of Proclamation, the Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution of the United States. The Emancipation Proclamation. On September the 22nd, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln issued the preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, which declared that as of January the 1st, 1863, all slaves in the states currently engaged in rebellion against the Union shall be thenceforward and forever free. So this is the Emancipation Proclamation, is when Abraham Lincoln declared that all slaves that was involved in the states that were in the Civil War would be free. Any questions here? Okay. All right, the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence provides a foundation for the concept of popular sovereignty, the idea that the government exists to serve the people who elect representatives to express their will. Unalienable rights. One second. Refers to that which cannot be given away or taken away. These are the things that are written in the Declaration of Independence in America, okay? To act in self-defense, whether it's your own self-defense, personal, your family, innocence, meaning someone else, or for your country. The second one, to own and carry weapons for self-defense and for ensuring that the nation remains free. In my country, everyone is allowed to own guns or any kind of weapon. Now, this does not mean that you can go around killing people, okay? It means that it is for the protection of what I just told you. Your own protection, your family, fight for your country. Number 3, to own and control private property, such as land, money, personal items, intellectual property, all sorts of things like that. Anything that would come under property. The next one is to earn a living and keep the fruit of one's labor. You work, you earn money, that's your money. You don't have to give your money to governments. Yes, you have to pay taxes, but it's your money that you earned. To freely migrate within the country or to leave the country. When I first came to Egypt, I was shocked. I looked at my husband one day and I suggested that we take a trip. And he said, well, it's going to take a while. And I'm like, why? So he explained to me that he could not just get up and go to the airport and get on a plane. I was shocked. Okay, I had no idea. As an American, we can go anywhere and leave at any time. So that was something new to me. The next one, last one, is to worship or not worship God in the manner that one chooses. You are allowed to belong to any religious organization that you choose, or if you don't choose, that's also allowed. It's up to you. You're free to do what you want. No one can tell you anything about religion. The next one, unalienable rights. You have the right to express any idea through print, voice, banners, or other medias. To be advised of the charges in the event of arrest. If someone comes to arrest me in America and the police officer or officers that are arresting me, if they do not read me my rights as a citizen, then they cannot, that's illegal arrest. And I will probably win the case even if I murdered someone because they did not read me my rights, okay? Next, to have a judge determine if the accused should be held for trial or for punishment. If you get arrested for something, a judge decides, do you have to stand through a trial or does he just give you the punishment? Next, to be tried by a jury of one's peers and face one's accuser in the event of being charged with a crime. Everyone has the right to be tried by a jury, no matter who you are, okay? Next, to suffer no cruel or unusual punishment. Everyone has to be treated the same. They can't take you in a room and beat you, okay? This is against the law. To abolish said government when it becomes destructive of these rights. If the government where you are tries to abolish these rights, you have the right to abolish the government, okay? Yes, we have a president, and that president stands for all Americans, but that president cannot just do whatever he wants. Almost everything the president does has to be approved by Congress. All right, Constitution of the United States. The Constitution's first three words, "we the people," affirm that the government of the United States exists to serve its citizens. And that is the only reason for the government there, to serve its citizens. The Constitution is a set of rules that guides how the country, state, or other political organizations work. The Constitution tells what the branches of the government are and exactly what powers they have. Most importantly, it tells the rights of the citizens, not the government, the rights of the citizens, okay? Do you have any questions on the Emancipation Proclamation? Everyone understands what it is?
Yes.
Okay. What about the Declaration of Independence? Does everyone understand these rules here? No questions? Okay, I'm going to put this on SMS if I haven't already. I think I have, but I'll check to make sure because, you know, you could be asked about some of these. Unalienable rights. Any questions on this? Do you understand all of this?
Yes.
Okay. And the Constitution of the United States. Again, this is just saying mostly about the rights for the citizens of America, okay? It's a set of rules that guides how the country, the state, and other political organizations work. It tells what the different branches of the government are and the powers that they have. Don't think in America that just because you are, let's say, a member of parliament, we say a member of Congress in our country, that you can just do anything you want. You cannot, okay? So if there are no questions, we'll move on. All right, I don't want to start reading the speech today. And tomorrow, hold on one second, please. Don't forget to sign in, guys. Okay, do you have any questions about argument, claim, and support? Okay, if I tell you, let's say, for example, I tell you I don't believe in wearing school uniforms. I think all students should be able to wear their own clothes, okay? This is my argument. I take a position. I don't believe you should have to wear school uniforms. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, after I take my position, I'm going to provide support for my position, my argument, okay, by appealing strictly to reason. All right? I'm going to give examples maybe such as all students don't like dressing exactly the same as other students. Okay, that might be one, even though that's a weak one. But I'm going to give 2 or 3 reasons. This position is referred to as the claim, okay? The support for the claim may be reasons, evidence, or both. Here, I'm probably going to search the internet, and I'm going to especially look up evidence. Has it been proven, for example, that students perform better when they wear their regular clothes to school? That's the kind of questions I'm going to look for, because I want to give you proof that I'm right. Now, your argument is going to be, and for my claim, I'm going to try to win you over to my side. Does everyone understand? After I give you reasons and evidence and so forth, I want you to come on my side and agree with me. Okay? Now, when you answer me, you're going to either be for or against me. If you're one that is against me, you are going to show me evidence and proof and reasons, or both, why students should not wear their regular clothes to school. Does everyone understand this? Hello?
Yes.
Miss Lynn.
Is Hannah the only one here with me?
Yes, Miss Lynn.
Miss, what
I'm
is the
Janet.
claim?
I'm sorry,
Yes, Miss.
What's
I
the
said
claim?
okay. When a writer or speaker takes a position on an issue and provides support for the position by appealing strictly to reason, this is the claim, okay? When I take the position that I believe students should not wear their uniform to school, they could wear their regular clothes, I'm making a claim here, okay? My support for this claim is going to be my reasons why I don't think that, evidence proving why students do better in school or whatever without uniforms, or both. You can give both, okay? The argument is when you disagree with me. You understand, Afid?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So that's the argument, is when two people, of course, you know what an argument is, they disagree about a subject. Here, let's say that Afida and I are disagreeing. I say students should wear their regular clothes. Afid says, no, 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 they should all wear uniforms. So when he presents his argument to me let's say in an essay, he's going to write all the reasons why students should wear.
انت بتلبس ليه دلوقتي؟
I'm sorry.
لا
He's going to
احنا
write
هنروح
down all of his.
الساعة 10. ماشي البس بس متبهدلش نفسك.
I don't know who's talking, but we're having a lesson. Okay, so often in his argument is for his support, he's going to give me reasons, evidence, whatever, about why students should dress in their uniforms. Does everyone understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
yes, Miss.
Yes, miss.
You're going to see more of this as you read this speech, okay? He's going to give many claims in this speech, and he's going to give the reasons and evidence. So you will understand more about that when we get into the speech, okay? But I want you to remember rhetorical devices. Let's go over them one more time. Repetition is the repeated use of the same word or phrase, and it is used primarily for emphasis, okay? Parallelism is the repetition of similar grammatical structures, such as words, phrases, or sentences. Don't forget, it doesn't just have to be words. It can also be phrases and sentences. It is used to show that ideas are related or equal in importance, okay? Now, an analogy. An analogy is a point-by-point comparison of two subjects. Kind of like your comparison, contrast essays. At one point, you have a point-by-point comparison of two subjects, okay? This is called an analogy, okay? This, I think you would find would help you a lot if you make a little chart, especially in the beginning, okay? For example, when he said 100 years later, and this is repeated throughout the speech several times. This is called repetition. And he is emphasizing how long African Americans have been denied their rights. So does everyone understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Miss Lynn.
Yes, Miss.
All right, so any questions, guys?
No, thank you, Miss.
No, thank you.
So we've covered the literary terms, some of them. There are still more rhetorical devices. There are many, many, many. Do I expect you to know them all for I Have a Dream? No. And I'll make sure that I'll let you know which ones to focus on, okay? We went over the vocabulary words. You don't have many vocabulary words. There are only 6. However, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, when we get into the speech and you don't understand some of the words in the speech, which I'm sure you won't, please use your dictionary, guys, okay? And we have read a little bit about Martin Luther King. I think I may have told you before the class, I had the privilege of meeting Dr. King one time, which was a great moment in my life. I didn't realize it at the time because I was very young, but now, especially since I became a teacher, it dawned on me that how lucky I was, and not many people ever got to meet him face to face, okay? So very eloquent man, very nice, so intelligent, okay? All right, so what questions do we have about the speech? Any? All right, for your homework for this lesson, you're going to define the literary terms, which are in SMS. I'll double check to make sure. Did you get the announcement yet about turning in and getting your assignments on SMS that will start January 31st?
No, Miss, we didn't yet.
No.
Okay, you're going to be getting an announcement from the school, but I'll just briefly cover it. Starting on January the 31st, SMS will have an assignment button, okay? And that's where you will go to get, to send and receive all of your assignments. But that doesn't start till January 31st. SMS will be the formal communication channel to send and receive notes or emails, because many teachers are having problems. You know, we have to go in emails, we have to search. It's just a big hassle, okay? Everything's kind of confused. So January 31st, you'll have a new button to press in SMS called the assignment icon. And that will be the way that you will receive and send all of your assignments, okay? Hopefully that'll make it much easier for everyone. All right, any other questions, guys?
Hey, yes, Miss, I have a question.
Go ahead, bud.
Miss, did you post the weekly plan of this week on SMS?
Oh,
or no?
yeah, it's posted.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone needs to check it so you'll know what we'll be doing day by day. I also included this new announcement on there about the assignment icon on SMS. So you'll start having an idea before January 31st, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions? Now, let me just say this, I'm sure you know this. Even though we are starting technically, I Have a Dream in the second term, it actually will not be counted until term 3. I think you all know that, correct?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Please sign in, everyone. Don't forget to sign in, okay? All right, so we'll end our session here, and then our next session, we will read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay, Miss Lynn.
All right, Becky. Thank you.
You're welcome.